So that's it. I'm live on my page. So today I am live streaming to my YouTube account, my Twitter account, my Facebook business page, The Blueprint Practice, and also my Facebook business page, Carole Bozkurt Coach. So if you are watching me, if you're joining me on the live stream, please come along and say hello. Oh, so let me just put that down. Please come along and say hello. And if you are watching on the replay, please put hashtag replay and ask me any questions, because I always pop back in. Hi, Tracy, lovely that you can join us. Tracy is a coach, is a performance and accountability coach. So welcome. And so let's kick off our live stream today. Now, I want to ask you two questions. One, this live stream is all about building your audience. So what I want to find out is, one, do you want to build an audience? Is that one of your goals? And would you like to learn how to build an audience in 30 days, or a quicker amount of time? It might be 45 days or 60 days. Or would you prefer to learn how to build an audience over a longer period of time? Tracy says she's joining while driving. So just take care, Tracy. Please don't do anything that would endanger you at all. But thank you for joining us. So do you want to build an audience in, say, 30 days, or would you prefer to build an audience in, say, 6 weeks or 3 months? Please let me know in the comments. And Tracy's given us the thumbs up. Not sure which one that is, probably to drive safely. Okay, so the first thing that you need to know when building an audience is you really need to know your audience. You really need to know your ideal client, and you need to be able to get under the skin of your ideal client. Tracy is saying she'd like to build an audience as soon as possible. So I'm assuming the 30 days is what Tracy would like. Now, I say that to a lot of people, and they say, yeah, I know who my ideal client is. And I say, okay, what keeps them awake at night? And they say, and then they start talking about their program. Very rarely does your program keep your client awake at night. Now, it all depends what your program is all to do with, of course. But, there are some outliers where people are doing maybe programs related to your health, or maybe related to your children or something like that, or your finances, and those things can keep you, of course, awake at night. But like, for example, if you are selling a course, say, on how to create a really strong brand, that's not really going to keep people awake at night. We've just got to be really honest about that. It doesn't mean they don't want to do it, but it's not going to keep them awake. So what you need to ask yourself is, what does your client think? So when they get up in the morning, what are they thinking? What's the first thing that comes into their head? If they're a mum and they're dropping their children off to school, or maybe they're a mum and they're rushing off to work and their partner is dropping the children off to school, what are they thinking? And then how do they feel? And when you keep asking yourself those two questions, what does your client think? What does your client feel? Then you start to get under the skin of your client. Then you start to really learn about your client. And if you track what your client does from the moment they wake up until the moment they go to sleep, so a day in the life of your client, and you keep asking yourself those two questions and be really honest with yourself. And if the answer is, I don't know, then the fact is you don't know your ideal client, and you need to invest some time finding those things out, because those things really help you when it comes to selling. They absolutely help you. The second thing is you always want to give great value. Now, this is something that I talk about a lot. Always give great value, always give great value. But here's the reason why you always need to give great value. Because your client comes to your offer after they've already found out about it. So if you have got a content program where you are creating content and giving value so that your clients, your potential clients, can get to know you and read it and find out things and get value from it and help them to take that next step forward, then they are finding out about you before they even approach you. And often those people are doing it on the outskirts. So they know you, but you've got no idea who they are. You know, if I look at, for example, some of my posts on whatever platform that is, I can see that I'm getting views. I've got no idea who all those people are. I know the people who leave a comment on my post because I can see it and I can go and check them out. But I don't know about all the other thousands of people looking at them. So what you need to do always is add great value, because your client is in the cloud looking at you. Hi, Donna. Lovely that you can join us. I don't know what time it is. You're calling from Canada. I don't know if that's like early hours of the morning, but maybe you're up very early, or maybe it's late at night there. Maybe you can tell us, Donna. So what you can do is you just got to remember that your client meets you first in the cloud, and they meet you before you even know about it. So if you are continually giving great value and helping your clients in the cloud, then when they come to you, they've sort of like already made up their mind that they would like to work with you. Now what they're doing is they're looking for fit. Can I get on with this person? Do I know this person? That's what they're looking for. So Donna is saying it's 6:44 a.m. in the morning. All right, that's not really early. So it's 6:45 in the morning in Canada. Right, okay. I thought they were much further behind us in hours, but not so. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, about 5 hours, right? Just had to count that up on my digits. So make sure you're in the cloud. The second thing is get really clear on your positioning and your messaging. A confused mind doesn't buy. And the way that you really get clear is getting known for that one thing. Now, I have seen coaches do this. I've seen people say, I'm a PR coach. I also do copywriting. Well, you can say that makes sense. If you're PR and you do copywriting, that sort of like works together. And I'm a life coach, and I'm a business coach, and I'm also a makeup coach or artist. So you can see that suddenly what's happening is you're giving your clients too many different messages. And when we buy services from people, we want to work with an expert. We want to work with somebody who focuses on that issue day in, day out, because they're going to know it more. They're going to spend more time. They're going to be exposed to it more. And we want them to help us so that we can get the best. So that is number 3. I will go through these again. Of course, while I've been on here, my phone's been going several times with people calling me. So once you know your audience and you've got under the skin of them, once you're giving great value and it's out there, then you can get clear on your positioning and your messaging, because remember, a confused mind doesn't buy. So you've got to get really clear on your messaging. And now you're ready to start building your audience. So point number 5 is really your tactics. What are the tactics that you can do? Well, yeah, look, first of all, you need a client container. So that client container is where you're going to nurture where you're going to nurture your clients. So it could be, for example, you have a podcast, and that's where all your clients go to, and that's where you nurture them. It could be something like a Facebook group. Now, the reason why Facebook groups are so brilliant is because people are in there and you can go in there daily and you can start to build relationships with them. It's not the only way, but you can actually see things happening with your client. But you could, as I said, your podcast could be where you build your audience. Your YouTube channel could be your client container where you build your audience. One of my good friends, her client container is her YouTube channel. Now, she does also have a couple of Facebook groups and the YouTube channel, and then from the YouTube channel, they go into her Facebook group. But her YouTube channel is that thing that she can keep her clients and connect with them, and she answers all their questions and she builds up her following. So you need a client container. Now, the second thing you need is an email management system. You must have an email management system. And this is the reason why. You will sell more via email than you will sell via social media. Now, there's a lot of people say you can't sell via social media. Yes, you can. It all depends. It really does all depend. I personally have sold, I've sold stuff via social media, maybe up to £1,000, but I know of coaches who sell up to £3,000 via social media. So social media does work, but you've got to build your audience and you've got to train your audience to understand that's how you're going to sell. And then they will start to buy from you. So create your client container. So somewhere that you can go in and interact with your clients. A Facebook group is really good. A LinkedIn group is really good, but it can be other things like your blog, your blogging, like your YouTube channel, like your podcast. But you must also have an email container. That you've got to have because you own the asset. You've got to remember that when you are on something like Facebook or LinkedIn or YouTube, we don't own the platform, somebody else does, but you own the email addresses. So you should always have an email container. So they are the two containers. Now, once you've got those two containers, the next thing you need to do is to get really focused about your content. And planning your content and batching your content are your friends. They are your friends. So for those people out there, and I'm not going to mention who, Tracy, who don't like planning, you've got to sort of like switch that mindset around a bit. You've got to say, okay, this might not be the number one thing you like doing. I mean, it is for me. I love planning. I know that my clients know that, but I also recognize not everybody likes planning, but there are some things you've got to plan. So it's a little bit like eat the frog, just get on and do it. Plan your content and then batch it. It makes it so much easier. Then you can schedule it out. Then what you want to do is you want to think to yourself, okay, where can I use guests to help me with this? So for example, Donna is laughing at Tracy not liking planning. Tears are coming down Donna's face. She's laughing so much. So where in your content can you use guests? Now, the best way to use a guest, video. Video is incredibly important. And if you're in my Sales Mastery course, you learn about how to sell on video and you learn why the mirror effect is so important and changes everything. And the mirror effect is a psychologically proven phenomenon. It works, and that's why it's so important. So think about guests. Think about how you can bring guests in to your work. It changes it up a bit. The other person is doing the work and you're sharing that great stuff with your clients. And what the person who you bring in, they're getting access to your audience. Be consistent. You've got to consistently show up. And that's why batching your content, planning your content, scheduling your content is great. Because when those days where you don't feel like it, you're under the weather, something's come up and everything flies out the window, that's still going ahead because you've been consistent and you've got it scheduled. Next thing, make sure you repurpose your content. That is so incredibly important, to repurpose your content. it makes it so much easier as well. And the thing is, if you look at it, you know, you might for the first 3 months create completely new content. Then on month 4, you might repurpose content from month 1. Now, repurpose doesn't mean I'm just going to cut and paste and redo it. You've got to do a little bit of work to it, change the title, maybe take something out, add something in. But the hard work of it has already been done. And then maybe you create so first 3 months, you create new content. Month 4, you repurpose content. Maybe month 5, you create new content again. Month 6, you repurpose content again, and you keep doing that. So eventually what you can actually do is set it, and what they say, forget it. You've got a whole year's worth of content that you can repurpose, and you take a few days, you get it sorted out, or you give it to a VA and you get them to sort it out, and you're golden. Secondly, going back to this mirror effect, your clients need to get to know you. So the video is the best way that they can get to know you, because what happens is when you're on video and people keep seeing your video all the time, they get to know you and they think that person's a friend. They don't think I'm a fan. They think I know this person, I like this person, we're friends. That's how they think. And that's what you want, because they feel that they get to know you. If you don't like doing video or video scares you, you have to sort of like put on your big girl pants and say, okay, I'm going to take one step, but I'm going to do this in an environment that's comfortable for me. But what you can definitely do is get photographs of yourself. And I always recommend that people do photo shoots, and you can get those photos. It's like the Instagram photos. Get someone to take photos of you so that they can see you doing the things that you normally would do. Maybe having a coffee, being at a desk, working. And I know lots of people do that, and they've been done to death. And once you get a photographer that you can really create a relationship with and get to know them, I've got no water at the moment, I can feel my throat getting a bit dry. And once they get to know you, then they can start making recommendations. But I have a photographer, Angela, who I use all the time, and she will take the photographs for my events. She will do photographs of me. And the whole idea is that I want people to get to know me, so that even if I'm putting up a static post, I can put a picture of me, and hopefully people will get to know who I am. And that's what you want. You want to get to know your audience. You want your audience to know, like, and trust you. And when they get to that trust bit, they will buy from you. So doing video is a great way to do that, but also having your photographs taken on a regular basis. And if you feel uncomfortable, do it once. You know, take a deep breath in. You're a business owner. You know, the entrepreneurial journey is not easy. If you want easy, go back into the business world, you know, and work for somebody and build their dream. But if you want to build your own dream, you've got to know that the entrepreneurial journey isn't easy. And we're always being, you know, tested and having to step outside our comfort zone. And what you can do is you can say, okay, like I did, I said, right, in September, I'm going to start doing more video and I'm going to get my YouTube channel up and going. And by the way, if you're watching me, please go and subscribe to my YouTube channel. It is so hard to get subscribers. I think it's harder than getting likes on a Facebook page. But please go there and subscribe. It's under my name, I think, Carole Bozkurt. I think I've got about 70 odd people now. I'm really trying to get to that 100 number. But the fact is, I said, right, come September, I'm going to do more video. And what I started doing was I actually started a little bit earlier in the August. And has it already paid dividends for me? Absolutely. Even with that small following, it has definitely helped improve my business. So people need to get to know you. That's part of building your audience. Secondly, no, well, not secondly, I think we're on to about number 7 or something like that. Think about your giveaways. You know, I have seen people, and I've learned this from Lisa Johnson, and she's just had a 1 million you know, she made £1 million in 24 hours, less than 24 hours. I mean, you know, she's fantastic. But think about the giveaways that you want to give. Now, I'm not saying, you know, if you are just starting out, your giveaway might be a free session with you. And I'm not saying you should give away 10 free sessions with you, but you might run a webinar. And for the people that turn up live to the webinar, you might give one lucky person a power hour with you, just one lucky person, but they've got to turn up live and they've got to stay to the end. And then as you do more webinars, for example, or maybe a challenge, you can add in some more prizes, some more giveaways. People love it. People love the thought of getting something, and they're far more invested in it. And when you get those giveaways, you know, when you get a lot bigger, sometimes those giveaways can make you go viral, you know, which is brilliant. So think about giveaways, and everyone can do some giveaways. Sometimes, you know, and it doesn't have to be expensive. It can be like, sometimes if I'm talking about video, I will give away like a little light that you can put on your phone, so that when you're doing a live video on your phone, your face is also lit up, so you're not in the dark. They cost about £10 from Amazon. That's something nice that I can give away. It's very practical and functional. I am very practical and people like it. So think about the giveaways. Then think about creating assets. I don't know why people don't do this more often. You run a webinar and you can pay for people to come on the webinar, and it can be something like $10, you know, or £10. It doesn't have to be very expensive. So you can make money that way. But you then got your webinar and it's an asset in your business that you can sell again. And when you get something coming up like Cyber Monday, for example, you can put those webinars together, you can bundle it together, and you can sell it then for a price. So you're creating assets in your business. You can put those webinars into your programs. You can give those webinars to your VIP clients. There's so much that you can do with your webinar. It becomes an asset. And finally, I've already mentioned it before, but just one final thing. Think about doing video. It really, really helps your business. And as I said, if you're in my Sales Mastery Conversations That Convert program, we look at video there. So that brings us to the end of today's live. It was a pretty long one today. Just a little note for you. On Wednesday at 10 a.m. So this coming Wednesday, I don't know the day off the top of my head, but this coming Wednesday at 10 a.m. I'm going live with a guest called Paul Wilson. Jesus, I hope I got his surname right. And he's going to be my guest, and we're talking about the devil's triangle and how that can sabotage your business. So if you're a business owner and you think, what is the devil's triangle? Come along and join us on Wednesday at 10 a.m. We will be going live on all platforms with Restream. So I will see you then. Take care, everyone. Bye for now and have a great weekend.